Hello there, this is Reece Russell, and you're watching the Weekly Steelchair.
It's my life in the box in front of me. Taking talk in my arms is the soul of me. You walk by, ask to see me laying face down.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Weekly Steelchair, where you are more than welcome. Unless you're a twat, then fuck off. I'm only kidding. Hello everybody, everyone is welcome on this channel. We're here for some wrestling fun, wrestling conversations, and a lot of conversation. The question is, what side are you on? What part of the conversation are you on? What part would you like to talk about the most? What's caught your interest? What's caught your eye? But most importantly, where's your mind at? No, it was Mario. Ooh, yes. Just watching this, that's a big goal for me. Needed that. Anyway, I can see the likes of Fernando, Maria, and Chester are in. Obviously, I've gave a few updates in the chat. Question is, where are we going to begin? Where do we begin? What's up, Chester? What's up, brother? Genuinely, where do we begin? Because, well, we can't do Monday Night Raw. So it's either All Out or Wrestlepalooza. But one thing is for certain, like I always do on this channel, all my reactions, all my opinions are always fair and honest. If they come across as too harsh, I don't care. If they come across as perhaps maybe too lenient, cool. If they perhaps seem a bit too praiseful, I don't care. The one thing this channel's all about is honesty, fairness, and the best possible review you can get. That's what we do. The question is, can you handle that? If not, this is not the place for you. Floppalooza, that's a fucking right way to put it. More so, in fact, I'm actually going to bring up a little edit I did for the rest of the show. Let me put it on the other side. There we go. That one. We're certainly here for it. And boy, we've got a lot to get through. And I think the best part is we're all going to have fun. Well, I say we, but then other people will just get offended and probably just run away and cry. And I don't have time for that crap, so we're going to do this. I've seen that Jimmy Kimmel's back on TV. Again, cool. It's not really going to be much of a difference. You know they'll still find a way to get rid of him later on. And that's not me advocating for it. I'm just being ahead of the curve. What's up, James? How are you, my brother? Let's see. So, we have 10 matches from All Out. Wrestlepalooza had 5. What I'm gonna do actually whilst I'm at it is I forgot to do one thing, so I'm just quickly doing that now. I'm just putting the points. I saw that. I do respect Brian Danielson's opinion that he thinks that Mercedes Moné's championship run is better, but I disagree. I think Ultimo Dragon's run is still better, but I do think that what we've seen from Stephanie Vaquero is she can make the most of it. Obviously, I had a howler of a weekend when it comes to getting points on the board. But that's business. Obviously, tonight we are going to criticize WWE from a position standpoint as well. The reason being is, well, WWE actively confirmed they made a lot of changes at the weekend. And I'm really not sure why you would do that. Not as bad as me. I was horrific. Especially for that horrible show, Wrestlepalooza. I did horrible at Wrestlepalooza, which I'm alright with because I never wanted to watch that anyway. So, something Zodiac. In terms of who did the worst on shows, when it, I was the worst at Wrestlepalooza. I only got 2 right. I can be honest, I was horrible with Wrestlepalooza predictions. Then again, I really don't care. In terms of who won the Palooza predictions, it doesn't have much of an impact on the championship, but Josiah, Catherine, James, Fernando, all tied with 4. Fernando, your final total out of 19, you scored 18. You only got one wrong all weekend. Sorry. Hold on. Why am I being so stupid? That's bad math. Sorry, that's when you know I've had a bad day. 10, 15. You scored 13 out of 15. He made a very bold statement. And I understand you've got loyalty to your colleagues, but let's be real. Ultimo Dragon's 10 championship wins were far more impressive. What Mercedes Moné, however, has done, I'll praise her for. But Ultimo Dragon, what he did, you can't not say that's not great. I think it's a very bold statement, but of course I respect it. So final scores, me, awful. To my final score out of 15, I scored 8. Fucking terrible. Maria, the former champion, you scored 9 out of 15. Zodiac, you scored 10 out of 15. Abu also scored 10. James, you scored 11. You had a bad day, but you can still regain your title because Fernando has to defend his title this weekend. So you could regain it very quickly. James, you finished on 11 out of 15. Catherine, if she shows up, Catherine scored 6. 10. Josiah, who was gunning for the title, Josiah finished on theirs 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You also tied with Josiah. Well done. Wait, really? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11. Wow. Fernando, of course, as we confirmed, there's 5 predictions in a row. Then he got Tony Storm wrong. Then he got the final 4 right, which was the 3 championships in that big, big Billy Bastard versus Eddie Kingston. And then Fernando only got 1 wrong, and that was the same as Josiah. That was John Cena, but he also got the 4 correct. Preceding that, Roy Sheen got 3 wrong, sorry, for Wrestlepalooza. Same as myself. Oh, she got 2 as well. Oh, I didn't get the worst then. No disrespect to Roy Sheen. Roy Sheen scored 2 in Wrestlepalooza, and then all out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same as myself. So she also finishes on 8. My co-host Ailey, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same as me. So myself and Ailey tied. So Ailey won't get a lot of bragging rights on that. And the last one, Dan, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another 8 out of 10. So Fernando does win, dropping 2 points, as confirmed. Not bad. Not bad. The problem for Fernando is he's got to defend his title at Victory Road. Awkward. Because that's not all he's got to do. I can't reveal that just yet. Absolutely, it felt like a glorified SmackDown. It felt like an absolute shitfest. Let's see what we've got already confirmed for Victory Road. I know we've got obviously the X Division title. Okay, we've got 6. Yeah, we've got the Knockouts title, the X Division, the World Tag, Knockouts World Tag, and the International title. Plus 2 standard singles. One of them is embarrassing. The 6 matches. ESPN gave it a C, exactly. I thought they were very generous. I would have given it an F. Cena, in a way, I get where you're coming from. He does at least get the Styles match, but I think what's being put out by one of the guys from Body Slam is absolute nonsense. That Corey Hayes, or whatever he looks like, the guy with the weird looking chin strap. He said that Styles versus Cena's been in the works for a long time. I'm sorry, but I'm calling his ass out. He's talking bullshit. That match has not been in the works for a long time. Everybody knows that. They're only doing this because Cena versus Lesnar was a fucking disaster on Saturday. They're lying from these shills, these grifters, has to stop. Stop lying and report the fucking facts. We all thought maybe this match might happen, maybe it won't happen. But we never went, oh, it's in the works, it's going to happen. The nonsense from these folks have to stop. Because it's all well and good, you can call out Dave Meltzer, and that's fine. But call out these other morons as well. Have the same energy. Because you cannot tell me with a straight face that AJ Styles versus John Cena has been in the works for a long time. If you truly believe that, then you are blind. And you are tone deaf. Exactly. It was a complete dud, bro. It was a complete dud, and we'll be going through that, suffering as we do. If there's one thing we do best, we enjoy ourselves making the mick out of them. Snoozer palooza. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. At least you guys get to see my crafty work when it comes to editing right beside me. If anybody does want to join me tonight on the review for any show they want to talk about, you're more than welcome. I don't mind. Tomorrow, tomorrow, obviously, it'll be episode 12 of the Steelchair Wrestling Alliance, where we're going to put in store a major change. I'm just not going to tell you what that is. But what do you guys want to do? Exclude Monday Night Raw, because obviously that was last night. Do you guys want to go in televised productive order, which is, well, televised is what was streamed first? Do you want All Out, then Wrestlepalooza, then Raw? Or do you want Wrestlepalooza, then All Out, then Monday Night Raw? What do you guys want to do? This is a democracy. I'm not going to put my dictatorship out there for a change. Whatever you guys want. Being honest. Whatever you guys want. You want to go all out first. So you want to go through the good stuff, then go to the pain. Maria understands torture. Maria's prepared for long-winded torture. Start with the big guns, all out. James says, I get Wrestlepalooza and Raw out the way first and save the best till last. Alright then, let's do it this way. We're gonna put a poll in the chat, and I'm gonna put the clock on, and we're gonna do that for 2 minutes. So let me just get the clock. Countdown. In fact, we'll make it 2 minutes 30. Temple, if you want to bring anyone in as well, because I know you've got your obviously the Discord is absolutely banging, mate, which is wild. If you want to bring anyone else in, my mate, it's entirely up to you. But yes, we can do a review of anything you want at any time. I don't think we do, Jason. Right, 2.5 minutes there. Let me just quickly share the screen because I'm going to need that. And I'm going to push hard for the end of the year to try my best within the next 3 months to get close to 500. So share screen. 2.5. There we go. I need that. Now let me just put the poll in. Only 1-0. That is embarrassing. Wow. Right, folks. I am putting in the chat now, and then we're going to start this poll. So the minute the clock starts, start voting. Do not vote until you see the clock. We're not doing any better either. 1-0 Wolves. You'll do better though. Okay, so we've got one vote already for Wrestlepalooza Raw then All Out. We've got the other order as well. It's entirely up to you guys. Voting in the chat. Whichever order you make, based on the time, then we'll go from there. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have Josiah on as well, so we can do. It'll be the three of us. It'll be a triple threat. Destruction and Cope's going to be absolutely sick. So we've got a minute and a half left. Wrestlepalooza Raw then All Out is currently winning in the polls. Get the shit PLE out of the way first. Chat decides, end of the day, my man. Chat decides. If anybody does want to join tonight, feel free to ask. You're more than welcome. I feel like it will be good to get a more variety conversation as well. But with 50 seconds left, we're now tied. If it does go to a tie, then I will put it to for okay. People have put the vote in. People are betraying us. It looks like people want to do All Out first. I think they'll win. I think they'll genuinely win. Oh, 50-50. Okay. And that's the poll. It finishes 50-50. So, what I'm gonna do? 1 second. I need to do one thing first. I forgot to do in the last show. I need to give Maria her standard moderator back. I need to put Fernando back as the managing moderator because obviously you win the. If you win the predictions title, you get the managing moderator. So, Fernando, as the managing moderator, as the predictions champion, Fernando wants All Out first. Okay, that's fine. Like I say, it's democracy. It's how it goes. We do this fairly. And absolutely, a 50-50 is very bloody rare. But no, I'm not, like I said, I'm not allowed to vote in the poll. My vote isn't warranted. It doesn't count. It's just you guys. And the chat has spoken. We are doing All Out first. That means we'll end the show with Monday Night Raw. God help us all. What's up, Roy Sheen? You're not here to suck off Diesel, are you? Yep, absolutely. Results final. That's what the deciding vote goes to the managing moderator. So if you do win the predictions championship and we end up with another 50-50, that's what you get. What's rigged? It was a 50-50. I don't know what is up with you today, Jason, but okay. So we are doing All Out first. Okay. May as well ask the honest question, though, folks. what did you genuinely think of AEW All Out? I mean, we did do the watch along. It's currently sitting on 300 and I think 17 views. But what did you all think of All Out? Besides watching it with me being brilliant at what I do. What did you all think? Let me tell you, to paraphrase, let me not talk to you and let me discuss with you. Maria says it was excellent. Straight in, Maria very rarely says a pay-per-view is excellent. So that says a lot. The former champion said it was excellent. Roy Sheen says it was okay. Well, we know how to change Roy Sheen's opinion. Hold on. I did enjoy the show, but there were some reservations in it. Overall, it was good. That's fair. Zodiac says, I thought Darby Allin burning Moxley was better in thought than execution, and there was 3 possible match of the night contenders. No, that's fair. That's very fair. I think the way they went about it may have been a major difference. The new champion says it was an A show. Interesting. I think we're certainly going to get out there. One thing I want you guys to do as well tonight is each match, I'm not going to do it because it's not my style, but I want you guys to actually tell me what you would rate these matches. We'll just do it like out of 10. Like none of the star rating stuff. Just what would you grade it out of 10? And I want to see what you guys think. And we'll do the same for Wrestlepalooza. We'll be very fair. So, let us begin with the purpose of the show. So, let's dive in. Saying nothing. Sponsored by Pepsi Max. And let's have some fun, because at the end of the day, I love doing these shows with you guys. You guys make it fun. You guys make it exciting. And we're going to crack on. So, democracy wins. I should have been a dictator. But we are going to begin. Already jumping onto that one, but it was excellent. It was absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, we're not going to bother about the 0 hour show or the tailgate brawls, because obviously they had 2 at the same time, which is kind of pointless. We're going to go straight into the main itself. So we're going to go straight to the main card, and the main card does begin with the hometown heroes Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus FTR, accompanied by Bald Midget who can't get no holes, Stokely Hathaway. Yeah, 0 hour was stupidly. You had 2 separate productions at the same time. You had 0 hour previewing the matches, and then you had the tailgate brawl, which was only on Triller. And that was 3 separate matches, and I'm like, why would you do that? It makes no sense to do that. Like, why would you do 3? Why not just do it all at once? But they chose to do it, but that's their circumstance. Before we even get to it, this entire show begins with a montage of Hola Tina. All Out begins with a montage of Copeland and Cage walking through Scotia Bank, reminiscing over memories. Tony counter-programmed himself. He did. Weirdly, he did. They are walking through. They are walking through the arena. They're reminiscing over the maple leafs, like obviously classic maple leaf play, hockey players on the Hall of Fame. Bubbles and Green Bastard. I just no, that doesn't make any sense. That to me made no sense. The infamous Green Bastard. Exactly. I genuinely don't have any words for it, you know? I hyped for Jurassic Express reunion. That was special. Even though we kind of knew it was coming, that was a much better moment. Tina, I really enjoyed All Out. I mean, obviously, there's one or two decisions that had me question the whole thing. Like, little bits where I was questioning, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed what we got, but there's some weird shit there. But nah, we got an absolute all-time moment, and I don't care what that makes me come across as. We got an absolute all-time moment. Oh, don't worry, Temple. It's totally allowed in here. And you're not wrong, Maria. For all the people, and this is a moment that Tony Khan has called out people that criticize him, and rightly so. He pulled off something that people say AEW don't do enough, or AEW doesn't do. He created a moment for the fans of 2021 at its best, like 2020, 2021, when Jungle Express were just a highlight of the shows. Whenever like a show started, they were right there for the taking, and you knew it was going to be fun anyway, whether it be a match or a segment. And they made that for the current fan base as well, who are trying to find an identity. Now, we'll get to that. We're not going to skip to that, but I'm just saying, like, for people who thinks he doesn't create moments or he doesn't listen, there were people that were asking for Jurassic Express. Oh, JD from Biscuitland is an absolute weirdo. He doesn't understand pro wrestling. How do you not go Everest and freeze a weapon to smack someone when you return? I mean, if I came back as Mr. Freeze, I would be happy as hell. I'd be like, give me my ice gun. The Ice Age. But yeah. But here's another thing as well. You talk about stories and kindred spirits and rekindling the magic. This opening tag match is all of them in one. You've got the story of Copeland finding his way back to Cage. You've got Cage finding his way back to himself. FTR are trying to redeem themselves. They're all separate stories, but they all collide into one. And it's actually so refreshing. Now, it's not the perfect story. It's not. The difference is if we're going to be very honest, it's not perfect. And the reason why is it's not the perfect story is because for it to be the perfect story beggars belief. In a way, Ailey was right on Friday night when we did our prediction show. Ailey thinks and stated on show, on camera, which is very fair, Ailey stated that perhaps this match should have been for the tag team titles. Now, I'm not saying you rush away from the Brodito story that we've got. You don't rush away from their chance at being a great tag team champion. But what makes a very good storyline to a perfect storyline is that one tangible factor. When you look at this show, it was a great non-title match. It had an even better climax moment. But what makes it perfect is if the tag team titles were on the line. Which is normal. Yeah, Ailey's right. It would have to not be AEW. Why? Personally, Bandito should have lost the title at Death Before Dishonor. Hechicero, my opinion, should have won the title from him. In terms of how long, I don't think they can go past if he goes past Wrestle Dream, still a double champion, then I'm not sure what happens next. If I'm being very honest. 3 weeks from now is Wrestle Dream. 3 weeks from now, Wrestle Dream is in St. Louis. And we know the Zodiac is happy and excited for that one because he's going to go. But the level of it is, it's the constant back and forth for Bandito that he's going to have to keep doing. The hardest part for him is not being lost in the shuffle of the singles and the tag team divisions that he's in. He's a brilliant wrestler, but he also needs to be mindful of how he can handle the situation. That's what makes him great. That's what makes him great. If I'm being honest, I would say Wrestle Dream. What's up, Tyler? How are you doing? Nothing, and I've got nothing against Bandito because plain and simple, because I've already said a couple of weeks ago, Bandito was my wrestler of the year. I can say it without needing to shy away from any other choice. He is my wrestler of the year. There we go. Hyman's had a great year, for sure. He's had a great year. But honestly, I'm giving it to Bandito. I very rarely give my wrestler of the year to a masked man. Best match of the year, in my opinion, is Bandito versus Takeshita at Supercard of Honor. Interesting. Interesting. At least we know who the wrestler of the year is not. And that's Seth Rollins. Or Roman Reigns. Or Cody Rhodes. Because and especially that moron Jey Uso. A lot of people are going to cry over that, but plain and simple, they're not good enough. Now, something that AEW in this match did right but should never have done in the first place. Adam Copeland. Just because John Cena paid homage to you, just because he paid homage to you on a random episode of Friday Night SmackDown doesn't mean you have to do the same thing back on an AEW pay-per-view. No worries, Roy Sheen. Take care. Takeshi's had a great year. Like, he's had a great year, for sure. I won't take that away from him. But aside from a very entertaining match that seriously does go back and forth, this match unfortunately is let down by Copeland using Cena's offense. That really shit the bed. And it's not because it's done badly. It's why do it in the first place? Exactly, they started chanting for him, and the worst thing is they kept chanting on him. And I'm going to say this as well. I don't know if you guys agree, but see that crowd? They were horrible the whole show. Toronto were terrible. Like, they honestly looked like they were reading a teleprompter. They were so out of tune. They were not even chanting when it really mattered. They were just making up shit on the fly, and it wasn't exciting. For such a good show, this crowd was awful. Like, they were genuinely awful. And people love to have a go at American crowds, which, to be fair, most of them are genuinely awful. Even Toronto managed to put the Americans on good stead with how bad they were in this one. Like, I've got no words. Oh yeah, Bret Hart absolutely would have been ashamed. Even for a Montreal man, he would be like, fuck this crap. You look at other people that live in Toronto. This crowd were really terrible. It felt like we were watching a lot of drones trying to infiltrate. It's like the drone army were summoned to try and ruin this show. And it's a shame because the talent were doing great. Except Big Bill and Eddie Kingston. But overall, fun match. Yeah, Canadians normally are. Yeah, the crowd were crap. The crowd was crap. Difference is I'm fair. I'm not gonna hide from it. I criticise WWE crowds on here a lot. But tonight I'm gonna criticise both. Because the AEW crowd were awful on Saturday. And they should hang their heads in shame. Or be hung off a wrench. During the match, of course, Stokely Hathaway just loves to get himself involved. We get a pin attempt from Copeland. And no holes Stoke. Eddie Eggsucker, literally. No holes Hathaway pulls the referee out of the ring. Cue some music. Making her way to the ring with that constant Glamazon headpiece on. It is Beth. Beth makes her way to the ring, takes away the bald man, and then the match proceeds to end after a shatter machine kick out. Copeland secures the win. And then carnage erupts. And all because of a distraction from Nick Wayne and the matriarchy. This was excellent. I will give Nick Wayne credit here because he's been. And if you've watched the Ring of Honor shows, you'll know Nick Wayne for the longest time has annoyed me because I feel like he has not done enough to improve himself, and he needs to do better. He did well without even needing to say a word. Like, his reaction was excellent. I know. I put it in the chat already for everybody. It's not exactly. If triple hip replacement stays out of the way, and they let them just do their job, it could be great. Now I say that I say could. But we know they won't let it happen. FTR with a spike pile driver takes out Christian Cage. And then they spike pile drive Beth following the distraction. I think we're building up to FTR in the matriarchy on one team. And I think Blood and Guts is going to involve Copeland and Cage. Maybe with someone like Jungle Express on their team. Or another like team of their own. And I think it'll lead to a Blood and Guts between them. Or something along those lines. I think they'll just draft someone, there'll be a big tag brawl. But I would do it on a pay-per-view. At all costs, I would do it. I would absolutely do it. I thought this match was fun. It was a good show starter. Beth appeared to catch you off guard. It was a good moment. It was really good. Getting our own music video and entrance video as well is interesting. Unfortunately, from Prazel, Cope and Christian and the Hurt Syndicate together in Blood and Guts. What are you thinking? Are you thinking Demand and Sabian and Wayne versus the Hurt Syndicate and Copeland and Cage 5-on-5? Or just 4-on-4 and MVP sits out? What are you thinking? Four on four. Fair enough. That keeps MVP out of it as well, which I'm quite good with. I'd be happy with that. There's no way Man United are trying to sign Yildiz. Behave. Okay. So that was the first match, folks. Out of 10, what are you giving it? Including the post-match. Rate the whole situation. What are you thinking? Out of 10. Seven. 8.9. Okay. James says 8. Appreciate that. Some decent scores. Fair honesty. Fair honesty. I appreciate that, folks. What isn't an 8 out of 10, however, or a 7.5 or a 7 or an 8. Fernando says A as well. What's nowhere near as good as that, Tyler says A as well, nice, is Eddie Kingston returning to the ring to face Big Bill. Oh god, where'd that begin? This match was so bad. I know he's been out injured for a long time. I get it. But there was no change to his moves. He was gassed after 2.5 minutes. And it was the same crap from Eddie Kingston. Now, I absolutely adore the fact he did the Terry Funk tribute. Exactly, 7 minutes I'm never getting back. And I had to sit there and do it as a watch along. That was horrible. This match was so bad, and yeah, Big Bill was wasted. Big Bill could have had something else. Like a match against Powerhouse Hobbs or something. That would have been at least in like another match of Hobbs, I should say. That would have been worth it. But this was so bad. And even worse as well was, I said it on the watch along, I gave Kingston a bit of benefit of the doubt with the Big Bill doing the big sidewalk slam that Abyss does, like the Black Hole Slam version he does, that Big Bill done it as well. And Eddie Kingston did botch it. But I did give benefit of doubt thinking maybe Kingston just wasn't prepared, or he just didn't know what move Big Bill was going to use. And it looked so sloppy that he had to do it a second time, and it's still botched. He was doing good promo work as well. Like Big Bill he's so good in the mic, and people think he's not, and I just don't get it. Like he's so good in the mic. But this match was horrible, and for the fact is, we knew before this match started that we were going to do how many chops? Less than 20 or more than 40? Good man, Tyler. Good man. Eddie should have been a tag match. I agree. He was really screwed. He was done after 2.5 minutes. He looked like he was needing a burger or a milkshake. Like, he looked exhausted. And it was so bad. And all those fucking chops. And then he wins it with a botch back fist. I don't often say this about wrestlers, but if I'm being truly honest, that match is a 0 out of 10. I'm sorry. Big Bill, you didn't deserve this, but I'm sorry. But if this had been WWE and I ranked as 0, I would be getting told I'm being harsh or I'm being biased. I'm not. This was a genuine 0. I can't praise any of it. I physically can't. It was horrible, and I hope we don't get a rematch. This better not be an opportunity to have a rematch. Don't give us that. It'll still end in disaster. At least the show is safe. You can say -1. Absolutely. I think a negative rating is actually quite fair. What does save the show, however, is Zodiac's hard-on for MJF. Now, the last time both men were in singles action, Mark Briscoe lost to Takeshita on Collision. and Mystical regained the CMLL Light Heavyweight Championship in a mask versus title match, and that was the night before. And I ended up watching the match after All Out. I watched it instead of Wrestlepalooza. It's a great match. I recommend watching it if you can. So MJF is already coming into this match, losing a title on a big loss, and he's up against someone that he wanted to work with but genuinely dislikes. But this is exactly what I said was going to happen. If you go back on the preview show, I said this match is going to be good because we don't know what MJF is going to do, regardless of Mark Briscoe, because MJF can make an extreme match different. This was outstanding. Better match, MJF Briscoe or the tag title match. The tag team title match was outstanding as well, but I think this was better. I think this was better than the tag titles. And I loved that ladder match. I agree this was Briscoe's best match in AEW. I agree. As a single. 100%. It was perfect. So let's get through this. Well, yes, Zodiac, because he has habits where he can just not show up and not deliver. So, absolutely. But this was excellent. I really enjoyed this one. And you can tell by my reactions on the watch along how much I enjoyed this match. This match was original. It was authentic. It had good use of the weapons. The use of tacks. I haven't seen tacks being used so well since Mick Foley in the 2000. Like goes back a long way. I haven't seen MJF wrestle as well like this since the Iron Man match against Danielson. And I was at two All In matches for MJF, and that includes Ospreay and Adam Cole. I was there for both. I honestly think MJF locked in hard for this, like he did against Danielson. If not further than that, the dog collar match. MJF's best ever wrestling match is the dog collar. But I honestly think here's the part that makes this match special. This match is called Tables and Tacks. And Briscoe decides to just take the tacks and circle the ring. Oh yeah, he really wanted it. He really wanted this. The way that he circled the ring with the tacks, MJF was at that point shitting himself. And I love the fact that it was white collar versus blue collar. This is a funny way to stick it to Cody Rhodes and his family, because this is Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair. White collar versus blue collar. He's sticking it to him. I absolutely love that. But it was the constant back suplexes, the backdrops, the scoop slams, all on the tacks. The way that Mark ate the blood as well, like the way that he was busted open was perfect. Does AEW have too many gimmick matches? Potentially. Oh, it was clever because it forced Mac's hand. Either get in the ring and fight or run. And credit to Max. Max fought like a man. And even better, MJF lost like a man. Oh yeah, 100%. Like, he actually booked this like the way it was booked. You can tell that he listened to MJF, he listened to Mark, and he went, this is what you guys want. I'm behind it. Just look after each other. And you can see from the very first bell to bell, both men looked after each other. I've got nothing but praise for this match and the two combatants. And commentary was even better. Danielson and MJF's moment was brilliant. That sold it for me. But this is Danielson's first big pay-per-view assignment, where he really has to shine himself as a full-time commentary member. And this was one of his best calls, was the way that he celebrated Max getting shoved through tacks. Oh yeah, absolutely. But also when he loses, he has to lose in a way that actually is enjoyed. That's why this loss, you get to see Max get punished for everything he's done. That's what I love about heels, getting their big comeuppance. Max got a huge comeuppance by getting battered in black and blue all over Scotiabank. Of course, to win the match, we get Froggy Bull, then the J Driller. Honestly, I thought this was outstanding. I really do. And also, I praise this how as well. I praise how fast the ring crew cleared the ring and the surrounding areas of ringside. No, it's okay for him. The way he loses, it's fine. Max's losses are always the way that a heel should lose. You get the ultimate comeuppance. He won't lose for quite a while now. Max will go on a winning streak. But all in all, of course, he'll be fine though. He will genuinely be fine. Speaking of someone who will be fine, Shelton Benjamin. Now, in the Hurt Syndicate versus the Demand, they're officially called the Demand. MVP, as Maria predicted. Win or lose, MVP will take the pin. Subsequently, they lost. But for a relatively okay, notice how I'm not going over the top here. I said relatively okay 6-man tag match. Shelton Benjamin was the standout. And I think it's time. I think it's time that Tony Khan puts a singles belt on Shelton. There's opportunities there potentially for Lashley to get a bit of singles gold as well. But MVP should be managing singles champions. He absolutely did steal the show. And honestly, I could watch Shelton Benjamin for days and I would not at all worry about the match being awful. I'm giving it a 9 as well. I was tempted to say 9.5, but I'll stick to 9. But the match was excellent. This was a 6-man tag, decent rhythm, but only one true standout. Because he wants to reform a Dynasty with him. Because they used to be teammates. They're still great friends, Hammerstone and MJF, but they used to be in a faction together. But that's what he's want to do. He wants to reunite Dynasty, but they want to dominate both factions. That's what it was. Ricochet was 100% the standout for the demand. But Shelton Benjamin was the standout of the entire match. Shelton Benjamin versus Takeshi, yeah, it would be very good. I'm not saying you have to split up the Hurt Syndicate. I'm not. I'm just saying MVP should be managing singles champions. Whatever gold that is, both men need to be singles champions, not tag champs. The match does end with the Spirit Gun on MVP. And I like the fact they've called themselves the Demand. It's very interesting. And I do agree with the mention in the chat about trios titles. Yes. I would make them trios champions. I think he will at some point, but not straight away. Okay. Time for a very honest discussion. Keith Lee should join the Hurt Syndicate. I can see why you're saying it. I like it, but I'm skeptical. Because Keith Lee, we know, has not been in good shape or good health for a long time. I think it's a big risk. It's a big risk. Yeah. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I would like to see him go through that, but yeah. Up next is a match that I enjoyed, but I still stand by what I said on Saturday night. On Saturday night during this match, I said, Tony Khan, please call an audible, make a pivot, do the right thing. We got the wrong winner in this match that we're about to discuss. Mercedes Moné defending the TBS title versus Rio. Mercedes Moné is a fantastic wrestler, an excellent champion, but she got out-wrestled in this entire match. This, quite frankly, was a telling point, where she's a brilliant wrestler and she gets it, but she got ripped apart by Rio. If I'm being truly honest, I'd say the tag match is about 4.5. This one, the way they done it, the way they told the match, I'll give it 7.5. He was lazy in the sense he didn't do a pivot, and he should have. I know he wants to seemingly erase Jade Cargill's record as TBS champion, but no one cares about Jade Cargill anyway, so it doesn't really matter. What matters is the opportunity was there for Mercedes Moné to put over someone, especially someone who's been a former world champion, the first world champion in the company history. And it's not often the Mercedes, respectfully, gets out wrestled in a match, and she did, start to finish. Of course, Mercedes does win with the Moneymaker. It's just genuinely brilliant. Mm. But that's what I think, if I'm being truly honest. Lots of sevens, yeah. It's fair to give a 7, my friend. It's fair. I'm giving it a 7.5. For me, it would be an 8.5 if Rio had won the match and Mercedes had actually done her moves had been a little bit better, because Mercedes was, I think she was a little bit off pace. I think her schedule's catching up to her a little bit. She's not a bad wrestler. That's not what I'm saying. I think her schedule's catching up to her a little bit. That's why I feel like she got out wrestled that much. Tony Khan should have called a pivot. Where he didn't call a pivot, however, and I'm glad he didn't. For me, a match that absolutely stole me as a professional wrestling fan. I have seen incredible. I saw an incredible triple threat match growing up. And then I saw another one a year later. Fast forward. Make sure my math is right. Yeah, fast forward another 3 years, and I see the greatest triple threat of all time. 4 years later from that, I see the greatest rematch to a triple threat. Then we get to this. And this triple threat match, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. 100%, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. This match had everything I needed and wanted. It had Takeshita selling the story of lacking trust in the Don Callis family. Okada being the greatest like tournament wrestler and the greatest champion in AEW history. You had Mascara Dorada providing a great upset performance and nearly capturing the championship. An all-round basis, you had 3 men who just went out of their way to excite the crowd. And the crowd really were perfect for this. I can't follow this, and I thought the fact that Okada teased a Rainmaker on Takeshita and then also tried it as well unsuccessfully, and then he hits it on Dorada for the win was perfect. And I said it on the preview that Takeshita would make a mistake. He would make a mistake and it would come back to haunt him. Yes, I did. Statistically, he is the best champion in AEW history. It's proven. Statistically, it's shown that he is literally the best. It was. The double Hurricane Rana from the top rope was one of the best moments of the entire show. Like, just the way that Dorada just slowly crept himself back onto the ring apron whilst Okada and Takeshita are struggling for control, and then up, spin, down, bang. It was brilliant. And I thought the double moonsault as well was really good. The missed moonsault, then straight into another one. I thought the tied up 450 splash was perfect. Takeshita really just didn't let anyone down. Great wrestling from him. Okada locked in perfectly, and Dorada was already there too. So we got three men caring about themselves, caring about the business, and wanting to excite the crowd with a great match, and they delivered. They delivered in a way that deserves lots of appreciation, and they've got mine. They have absolutely got mine. What hasn't got me, however, is the coffin match. Because I still can't figure this out. I genuinely don't know. Someone please explain why Moxley won this match. Regardless of the post-match angle, explain why he lost, why Moxley won. Because I can't figure out. Like, Darby Allin on this show still should have done what he did to Moxley backstage, but Moxley shouldn't have won. But I can't figure it out in my head. Even tried to process it there, close my eyes, process it. But there's nothing there. I don't know why you would do it. Does anyone have any thoughts? Why do you think Moxley won the coffin match? I don't know. We're gonna get it, trust me. I think it'll be Full Gear or World's End. It was bloody brutal though, the two of them. Yo, Nicholas cooking, brother. I expected the match to be violent between the two of them. And it was. Like, it was brutal. But I just... For how the show was going already, the show only had one dud at this point, which was Kingston versus Big Bill. This decision made this match anticlimactic. I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. I thought he was going to win it. Oh, it's better than some. Man, always, mate. Likewise, it has been quite the year. But I'm glad I found you guys as well, just randomly one night. And that was it. Hooked. Pac coming back with a Wade Barrett haircut is quite scary. Quite scary because he's completely changed. What's up, Abu? But yeah, again, I thought the match was as intended, extremely violent, gory, brutal. There was no bottom feeding trash bag holes, but we're gonna get to her. But it was a deadly coffin match that was anticlimactic. But at least later on the show, we got a good moment that takes it to a different level. But a coffin match is technically a feud ender. That's the thing, Nick. I don't know. I personally think Darby should have won and set the casket on fire. Pac's return for Darby Allin is still a good thing, but I don't think Pac needs to be involved in this. I personally think, and I can't believe I've said this, I'm surprised they did not have Orange Cassidy show up. Instead, he'll be back on Wednesday for a 6-man tag. I would have had Moxley lose and then Moxley's casket set on fire. And effectively, that is one way to signal the end of the Death Riders. You burn the leader. You let him go and get a proper move. OC is buried. You know how we roll on the show. Oh, I know. But that's just my point. Oh, they will eventually. I don't know how. Because I don't want this to end up like the mass. I'm not wishing it, Maria. I think he's going to because of how that ended. Absolutely, James. Like a coffin match is the end. It signals the end. So it should have been the end of that. Darby Allin, you lost the match. You can burn Moxley all you want. But mate, what you basically done was allow us to play John Moxley's theme song, and it works perfectly. I am not wishing it. I don't like Orange Cassidy, but I'm still tying back to storyline. I'm tying back to continuity. Reece is the next member of the Death Riders. I would absolutely rule the Death Riders. It's me, Mario. And Super Mario Galaxy is coming out. The movie is coming out around my birthday next year, so I might go see it. I want to play Mario now. Fuck you, Reece. Nah, no thanks. But oh yeah, it's quality. Super Mario Galaxy. If it comes out April 12th, that is my birthday, so there you go. Bit of entertainment. Mario Strikers. I like the old one. Too many games on here. I love the original Super Mario Bros. Movie. But I also like the new one. As long as if you do Super Mario Bros. And I'm Bowser, then I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. To be fair, if we do this, I'm Bowser. Because I burn everybody. But also, if we do this Super Smash style, I'm Captain Falcon. Or Link. That's the law. That's the law. You bastard. You cannot. Otherwise, I have to play Abel's theme song before Abel hits the pain.
Oh, come on, man.
We all know Abel simply, with his days gone by, he loves to count down to watch the steel chair. I'm too good. You would kick out a fair few. I actually edited that. Like I edited that image. Go on then, what's the conundrum? Alright then, here's the conundrum. How do you ruin the perfect story? How do you ruin the perfect story? 6 letters. Actually, no, 7 letters. 7 letters. How do you ruin the perfect story? Oh yeah, I do a lot of editing. I'll show you what I mean by editing. Like, look at this. This is just an example of what I can do. Yeah, take this for example. This used to be James, spot on. This used to be my PC background. Keyword, used to be. This is what it looks like now. That's the sort of shit that I can do. Just by having fun. I love to edit. Do it on my phone, my PC. I enjoy it. It's good fun. One other thing that needs to stop. It's a bit of an awkward situation. Bryan Danielson. She doesn't even deserve it. During this match, at ringside, now we did say he's technically not involved by leaving the announce table, but Bryan Danielson did help Darby Allin by handing him the big bag with the plastic bag in it. At this point, you've already technically helped Darby Allin. Without leaving the desk, but you've helped him. Pac had no reason to be in this match. Yes, there's no disqualification, so interference can happen. But why can't that not exclude Danielson, and why can't he not help from it as well? Why can't he not just say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to attack Moxley, but I'm going to stop Pac? He basically helped Darby Allin gain advantage, and then he cost him the match by not helping him. It doesn't make any sense. And I've been thinking about that since Saturday night. It's odd and it's strange. And Josiah as well, he was correct to point out as well, like, oh, he's already given plastic bag and Pac's not nowhere to be found, but we know that Utah, Shafir, and Claudia were there. But Pac is like, well, not even involved, not even expected. Well, in that case, Danielson should have just stopped it. But no, he did not. This was violent, obviously. Moxley does get the win in a confusing but brutal match. Then we get a shock. And I think I've got a sound for that. I do. I have the perfect sound for it. Bingo. We went from one shock of what is going on, why is no one helping Darby Allin, to the moment where we get a fatal four-way. The first of two fatal four-ways, I might add. And this fatal four-way is for the women's world title, and everybody except one predicted Toni Storm to win. Now, do I like Chris Statlander? Yes. Should she have won the match? No. The one was Dan. He predicted Jamie Hayter to win, which is understandable. Toni Storm has been champion for 7 months. She regained the title back in February in Australia. And she's had a very good title run. Very good title run. But what I find interesting is the confidence. No, I don't think so. She made it feel like it wasn't held that long. That's how good her title run was. That's what great champions do. The thing though is, if you're going to take the belt off her and you put her in a fatal four-way, why does Tony have to be the one to be pinned? What's the point? You do a fatal four-way to protect the champion. I didn't get why, and also as well, here's another thing. Statlander wins the match using a heel tactic, and the crowd celebrates it. I get it, it's a new champion, it's a new moment, they all chant she deserves it. But she wins the match like a heel. And I'm thinking, here comes Harley Cameron. Toni Storm, of course, is in awe. She's in shock of the whole situation, absolutely. She sells it better than anybody. Toni Storm is still the best women's wrestler on the AEW main women's roster. But she really had us all shocked. I agree with that, Abu. Stat join the Death Riders now, I feel like she loses any appeal. I think she loses appeal if she joins them. But I do think she is going to join though. Storm was excellent in terms of the storytelling. That was genuine shock. And that was great. Yeah, but that's also because Texas are just mad. But that didn't last long. That lasted one night. If she turns heel on Wednesday, then we're eager to see something. I'm just not sure. I don't think she's going to have a long title run though. And I don't expect Tony to regain the belt. I do wonder who they're going to have her lose to. Like, I'm actually not sure. Could it be Willow? Thekla, in my opinion, should have beat Tony. I think Thekla should have won the title on Saturday. But we got a moment. I hope Thekla wins that belt. I really do. I was shocked, though. Like, I was very, very shocked. Last, we have a ladder match next. This match was brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Chaos. Chaos with 4 teams in a ladder match. Broken ladders, broken tables. Pure violence on a grand scale. The right team won. My God. Then, in the midst of Bucks doing their best to celebrate. Out comes Jack Perry, takes them both on. He eats a double super kick. They go for the BTE trigger. And then the lights go out, and there's Luchasaurus. Double choke slam. They embrace. Tarzan Boy runs through the arena. Oh. And we create the moment. And that moment is what you want to see when you least expect it. And that was a least expected moment. And it was perfect. Phenomenal it was. And then the main event. The main event was superb. I'll say as well, the main event was another 10 out of 10. This was a breakout performance for Kyle Fletcher. He was never going to win. He should never have won anyway. But he's proved he belongs in the conversation. And it was perfect. I loved the sell and Hangman made when he got destroyed by Fletcher. Because he destroyed him. But the dead eye off the top rope. And then Buckshot. Loved it. And Kyle Fletcher got new theme music. This guy's on the roll. But what's special about this pay-per-view? There's no Kenny. There's no Osprey. There's no Swerve Strickland. There's no Jay White. And this was still one of the best pay-per-views of the year. Absolutely, his time will come. And it was the right call to maintain Hangman's reign. But it was brilliant. And even though they were counter-programmed by two dorks, those two dorks couldn't match these two in the ring. It was wonderful. Great match. Great event. Absolutely. Best non-gimmick match, because the Osprey cage match is up there as well. But this is a monumental match. It had everything. And the match flow was perfect. It wasn't rushed. But the pace was perfect. What wasn't perfect, on the other hand, and I would have to say All In is still my favourite, but All Out probably second, Revolution third. Well, no doubt your club probably fluked it tonight, I'm assuming. To be fair, my club was playing in a cup match tonight anyway, we won 3-0. Coming for the league, coming for Syria. Yo versus Despy tomorrow. Can't wait. Speaking of that, Josiah, you're back on this weekend, buddy, if you're available. What? Cool. It is good to see him. Oh, you lost 2-0. That's not good. I think Tottenham got Southampton in the third round. Right. Wrestle horseshit. Hold on. 1 second. Gym physio tomorrow. Forgot about that, but hold on. 1, 2. He got sent off for taking his shirt off. That's the worst thing about football. But yes, Wrestlepalooza, where Make-A-Wish were punished by John Cena. This was what I said it was going to be. This was a finisher fest. And it was sloppy. This was so sloppy. And to think we had Cena hit 5 F5s. Just kidding. He should have hit 1. He hit 5 action adjustments. And Lesnar went, alright, okay, I'm going to hit 6 F5s. And then just for the sake of it, he hits 1 after the match. I'm sorry, but this wasn't fun. I went back and watched this one after I didn't watch along. Like the day after, so I did this on Sunday. And it's why the whole nonsense that, it's been in talks for a while that WWE are going to put Styles versus AJ. No, you're not. You're only doing it because us real fans called you out. So did ESPN. So stop lying. But it was a miserable match. Not required at all. And that weirdo Tyrese Halliburton and all that, like, your face doesn't make it any more interesting, mate. Ridiculous. It was confirmed during the watch along, of course, for All Out. Obviously, we brought it to our attention that LA Knight was announced as a special guest referee. So am I. I want 7 or 8 matches. At maximum 9. They can do 8 or 9 matches. It was confirmed. To be fair, he had to leave anyway, but LA Knight being confirmed as the special guest referee for the tag match. We didn't get anything from it. Very predictable. We got nothing from this match. The only thing that was expected was finisher, 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 double finisher, tsunami. There was a lot of blood on this one, which is a shame because it was done wrong. But yes, I got a lot of commercials. That made no sense either. Why they did that, I don't get it. Like, Like, for me, that was stupid. Another thing as well is why they did the separate Uso entrances. Like, that made the whole thing even worse. Suffering. Succotash, more like. He still is a joke, mate. He'll always be a joke. Every time Jey Uso wrestles or talks, this is me.
We do not
We
care.
do not care. We do not care. We do not care. We do not not care. We do not care. We do not care. We do not care.
Because none of us care. Jay in a tag match also is exactly. He's a fucking dork. He ruins wrestling. And yet people like this guy. Get your dignity back. Oh wait, never mind, you can't. Yeah, the yeeting is too much. And it's dreadful. And LA Knight just letting it be extreme. I'm sorry, but change the match stipulation then, if you're going to do that. The Women's World Title match. Scheduled for one fall is an international fuckfest. Please tell me you're kidding. You're joking. I know Okada's 11 and Joe Hendry's 12th. But if Jace was in the top 10, fuck off. I know for a fact John Moxley was number 4 in the PWI. Which, fair play to him, but Jey Uso in the top 10 is nah. That's wild. But yes, then the PWI no longer means anything. But yes, this match scheduled for one fall, international fest only, where Abu is gunning like crazy, is for the vacant women's world title. And if this had been anywhere else, these two would have been allowed to work spectacularly. But in this, they were hindered by the fact that WWE do not care. And the Devil's Kiss move it needs to stop. It's because you're a good man, my friend. You're a good man. I'm sorry, but the more that Vaquer persists with the Devil's Kiss, the more people are eventually it's gonna ride the wind, and people are gonna give up on her. Because we know she can wrestle, but Booker T has ruined her because of this. And I absolutely hate it. I hate that. Like, we don't need that at all. But that melon ruined it. Of course, Io Sky would try to win this match with a moonsault. She was unsuccessful. And Stephanie Vaquer wins the match and the title. She did the spiral tap on the legs. No worries, mate. I will see you another time. I like the strategy of the spiral tap for sure. Because it goes straight back to death at this point with another match that absolutely sucks. The mixed tag match was terrible. All round. I'm not even gonna mince words. The mixed tag was terrible. So many times wasting time, wasting opportunities. This was an excuse fest. And AJ Lee, you deserve better. You deserve better for this because Jesus Christ. The match ends with the manhandle slam attempt countered into a Black Widow. And shock behold, the Ginger tapped out. So her soul was already gone. But she tapped out. She's going to get you tapped out chance at some point. And Punk and Lee did win the match. The transitions for music was interesting. I'm surprised they had someone with a brain that could do that, but yeah. And lastly, to piss off your fans, WWE made a second pivot of the night when they originally booked Drew McIntyre to win the match through interference, well, inverted interference by Randy Orton. Instead, there's no Orton, and McIntyre loses to Cody Rhodes. Just like Cena lost to Lesnar when he was supposed to win. You can tell when the pivot was made. The main event was shit, absolutely. But here's the thing, it was so shit anyway, you can tell that Drew McIntyre went from being locked in to I'm not bothered anymore because he's been told he's not winning. You can tell that the mentality changes. Yes, he should have. He should have won, and I would love to know what the situation was. Now, Triple Hit Replacement said that Lesnar versus Cena was meant to be the main event. It was then put on first as creative direction. And Cena winning and then changed to a loss was part of a way going forward. What is the excuse for Rhodes beating McIntyre? Why change it? TKO can't change that booking though. But they've really shot themselves in the foot. Because right now, Cody as WWE champion is not interesting. It's not working. It's plain as fact. Cody Rhodes as WWE champion is not doing well. He's not exciting. He's not making it compelling enough. And nobody even wants to see it at the minute. He needs to lose that belt. And now he's getting the Crown Jewel match again. He did it last year and won it. Is he going to win it again? Or are they actually going to have Rollins beat him? Drew really does need to, otherwise he's going to be screwed. And the only way he's going to claim flowers if he goes back to being called Drew Galloway. But he's in trouble. McIntyre, of course, tries to replicate the SmackDown Claymore through the announce table. He misses. and just absolutely ruins his leg in the process. He gets back in the ring, goes for another Claymore, and then Cody hits Super Cody Cutter, and then hit the Crossroads. He absolutely did sign on the dotted line with a sword in his hand. Tarnishing your legacy. The Undertaker, you are a absolute fool. The main event's about to start, and WWE go, we'll interrupt your broadcast proceedings to bring this guy out. And oh yeah, we're gonna put Taker out there, and he's gonna sit beside that brutal bottom feeding trash bag hole, and he's gonna induct her in the Hall of. He's gonna announce that she's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. For what? What has she done to deserve it? She don't deserve it. And the Hall of Fame is 7 months away. Are you kidding me? I know. Yes, you should have. No, she didn't. Nice trolling though, buddy, but she didn't. WWE are absolutely booking McIntyre in the mud, and he's letting it happen himself. It's his own fault. He is a fool. He's like Tin Man from Alice in Wonderland. She did create Cena. Not really. After all, she was going to fire Cena. Cena was just lucky that she overheard him. She gave him a chance. That's the fact. She gave him a chance to try again. Vince was gonna... I don't think she made him the guy. She vouched as best she could, but that's only when he did freestyle. When he did that freestyle rap, and she was lucky here, she was like, alright, let's just give him a shot. But the whole manner of it, there's so many more to that whole thing anyway. There's so much more to it. But when he got pushed, that was it. Enjoyment went out the window. Like, serious enjoyment went out the window. But I absolutely hate that she's getting put in the Hall of Fame. It makes me sick. Oh, see, the Chyna fans crying was absolutely brilliant. I burst out laughing. She is, because she continues to enable it. She's disgusting. So, Crown Jewel, out of 10. Awful event. ESPN gave it a grade C. I'm giving it a grade 0. Awful. I agree. And I'll tell you another thing. This might sound controversial. Neither should Triple H. He shouldn't be either. You know what I meant. I'm calling it Crown Jewel because it bored me to Jewel. It bored me into thinking it was Crown Jewel. But Wrestlepalooza is actually a good way to call it. Yeah, it would have been even better if they were in an environment where they could work better. Wrestlepaloozas. God almighty. But yeah, people are not going to like this because they'll think I'm just hating on the man, but Triple H should not be in the Hall of Fame as well. Sorry. I don't care if he's a 14-time world champion, a 2-time Grand Slam, or whatever. Like, Grand Slam once. He tried to go for a second time and they said no. I'm sorry, but no. He shouldn't be in it because he married into that family. You marry and you should be exempt from the Hall of Fame. No wonder Eric Young, when he met me, he told me to face that he thinks this is a waste of time. This induction proved his point. Yeah, Crown Jewel, Cena versus AJ. Yes, Josiah. And also, we're going to review the whole thing, bro. You, me, and Temple wants to join us too. He wants to join us. Also, we need to do some N1 review as well, because that has ended as well. Masa Kaitamiya won the N1 tournament, which wouldn't have happened if a certain man hadn't got injured. Absolutely. We will bring him, don't worry. Steph versus Sky should have been the main event. In hindsight, yes. On paper, no. I didn't like any of them, Chester. I only give a little bit of tolerance to the women because the women at least try. But speaking of people who didn't try, Monday Night Raw. This was the final straw. Monday Night Raw was at We're gonna do like this. This is the final Raw review until I say so. I'm not reviewing Monday Night Raw for a while. I'm bailing out on it. But Cody and Seth. Shite segment. Fucking waste of time. Penta and the the War Raiders versus 3 clowns. Shite, 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 shite. Bailey and her delusions. Awful. Stephanie Vacquer's promo. Bailey versus Roxanne Perez. Awful. Rusev versus JD McDonough. Wasting the time. Boring. Terrible. And the fact that they're rewarding Rusev with an IC title match next week. Shite. LA Knight versus Jey Uso. Shit meets shit. Hated it. And then the main event. Exactly what I thought. Rhea Ripley would win it. And then they finally turn Asuka heel. Well done. You were too little too late. She should have turned heel in the world title match. You fucking idiots. Fucking idiots. Monday Night Raw, out of 10. 0. 0. And that includes Asuka. She's brilliant, but nah. Io Sky, she's quality at selling it. But fuck me, it was horrible. And how about NXT? The whole thing with Bayley is, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But in terms of reviewing NXT, hold on, I think I heard something. Hold on, 1 second. Think that was a bell. I like Asuka's heel turn. The problem is Asuka versus Io is 3 years too late. And it's not Asuka's fault. It's the creative's fault. It's 3 years too late. And it's a shame. But I want to know what they do with her. I don't know what they're going to do with her. But we'll see. As for the NXT show tonight, it's not that I'm intrigued or not intrigued. It's title versus title where TNA have to force themselves into the conversation to get their belt back. All for the sense of, yay, Team TNA. I will still be watching TNA on a weekly basis, but the NXT, I don't even like the NXT roster. And I think they're overrated. There's only a few talents they have. I'm like, I could buy into you. But I just think they don't know what they're doing. And I'm expecting TNA to get absolutely battered of NXT. Javon Evans, I've watched him twice and I don't rate him at all. I think that Obafemi's decent. Yeah, Rhea will constantly get to beat Asuka since she can't beat Io. So Body Slam Net are saying John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio is being discussed for one of Cena's final 4 appearances after Crown Jewel. Josh Briggs, potentially. What's this? Oh, they're gonna do Invasion, and they're gonna make a mistake. According to Deadline, a Macho Man biopic is in the works with Kenan Thompson set to produce. Nice. Nah, they'll have some interference because Rich Holland will get a match against Trick for the title if he beats Santana at Victory Road. Ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to happen and it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible, and you know why it'll be terrible. And here's another thing. See all the, oh, Joe Hendry's not going to go to WWE. He's staying with TNA. Joe Hendry's about to go to WWE for good. It's quietly tampering that contract. Surefire. That's another thing that's wrong with this whole thing. Their behaviour. No, I think Joe Hendry will turn on TNA. I put it on the community tab. I honestly think Joe Hendry will turn heel. And he'll weasel his way into WWE permanently by turning on TNA. And even that, I'm like, you're just gonna join their development brand, mate. End of this year. Like, literally the end of the year. He'll be part of the Royal Rumble, and he'll probably NXT then move to SmackDown. But Joe Hendry's already lost everything anyway, because that Mr. Iguana's already ahead of him. That's what's even funnier. But yeah, I'll see the highlights of NXT, but I'm not really. I haven't watched NXT in a long time. Like, I watched, like, prior to last week. I watched it last week just because I wanted to see if Nakamura would show up. And he didn't. But before that, I hadn't watched NXT in like 2 years, so I don't need to watch NXT again. But when it comes to WWE reviews, it's becoming harder and harder to say I'm trying to enjoy it. Yeah, he has been. And he's been doing it by any means, and I hate it. I hate the way he's behaved to get into WWE through TNA, like Goodwill and all that. I hate it. But we have New Japan, we have Pro Wrestling Noah, we've got AEW, we've got TNA, we've got Ring of Honor, we've got other enjoyments of reviewing. But one thing we also have is another fun show that we've done tonight. So, Josiah, you, me, Temple on Sunday. Anyone else that wants to join us on our shows going forward, let me know. The Steelchair Wrestling Alliance will be back tomorrow night for a 90-minute show. But in the meantime, I'm going to dip. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. You're all amazing. The SWA is our fun time, and yeah, he did throw shade at their creative, which is funny. I will see you all tomorrow. To Maria, Chester, Roy Sheen, Tina, Abu, Josiah, Fernando, all in the chat. Always a pleasure. Zodiac too. I do appreciate it. James as well, my guy. Nick was there as well. No, I've not banned Catherine. She probably just wasn't available to watch tonight. That would be funny though. But no, I won't ban Catherine. I've only ever banned one person on the channel. One. And that biatch will never come back. So, goodbye. So long. Good night. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, folks. And today, our time comes to an end. This has been another exciting stream. Thank you very much for watching. And also, remember, if you get cracked over the head with a steel chair, you're not going to get concussion. You're just going to come back here. Goodbye.